welcome to the podcast.
And today we're going to be talking about 2021, the future of this podcast. And, well, how do you experience 2021?
The year in general.
In general.
I mean, it's been an interesting year once again, of course, in the whole world, I guess. But, you know, it's also had its upsides, I think.
It definitely had. And I mean, can't complain. We started the podcast in 2021.
Exactly.
And thank you guys for the support so far, everyone that is still watching or that is watching. And we have some big plans for the podcast and we are changing a lot of stuff. We're not going to say too much. Obviously,
maybe you have a little hint here because of the setting if you're watching this on YouTube.
The entire setting change. Might give away some stuff. But I would say let's build up to what the changes are with talking about how we started out. The way we started out this podcast was to, we wanted to talk about lots of different topics. We wanted to talk about obviously working out. We wanted to talk about finance. We wanted to talk about YouTube, social media, everything.
Mindset,
productivity. And all these things are very epic. And I have a decent amount of knowledge in a lot of stuff about YouTube and stuff like that, but I also want to learn. And also this guy especially has a lot of knowledge in, for example, productivity, but also finance and just a lot of stuff that we talked about in the beginning and throughout the months. And I think I loved it. I learned a lot myself as well, and I hope you guys did as well. And we did notice that the podcasts were a little bit all over the place.
Yeah, and I think the feedback, we're super happy with all the feedback we're getting from you guys. We're reading it, we're listening to it, and, you know, people like to have it more about one topic, or, you know, maybe not one topic, one or two. And I think one of the things that we notice is that, you know, going from working out one day, and then the next week finance, next week productivity, that means that people just start reading the title and, they're going to think, I might listen to this one, I might not. And I think one of the things that we've realized is we should stick more to a certain topic.
Exactly. And I feel like what we did do right is we do have a focus more towards sort of the entertainment part of also talking about the more serious topics, like obviously working out, but also finance. And with our TikTok series, reacting to finance TikToks, I still love that series.
Oh, yeah.
And we're definitely probably going to do some stuff like that. Would love to hear your thoughts on that and your feedback on how you liked those episodes and what you would like to see change. Maybe because we have a little bit more space now, we're going to integrate some stuff.
Like Stan, do a front lever.
Oh,
there we go. Almost kicking over the cameras, but... You see?
We have a lot of space. Now,
yeah.
Also the microphones will be a little bit better. We do have the professional mics, obviously, right now. We can't set them up because we have to order some new stuff for that. And talking about ordering some new stuff for that, I would say, because the podcast made around $0 this year, well, let's say not a lot. We are like monetized on YouTube. I mean, we did that.
I think we made like, what, 300 in a year?
$300. I think that the podcast made around $300. Might have been, yeah. Could be, maybe.
Roughly, yeah.
Because of that, we're stopping the podcast. You can cut the cameras. We're just now. we're going to continue. We love this,
Definitely.
and this is for us. This almost sounds like a flex, but I just wanted to make this sound like we really do this because we love the podcast, and we do think it's just something different. It's a bit longer form, but what I wanted to say is that revenue-wise, this is not even close to 1% of everyone here. I mean, no one really got paid.
Nope.
We just do this to...
Wait. I paid you because I paid for a Patreon for like 10 months because I forgot to cancel it. So I paid you every month like $15.
Yeah, so I mean, for those who are still supporting on Patreon, actually that money that YouTube made and the Patreon money together will be combined. And I mean, it doesn't pay back what we invested in this, but we will still use that, and everything we made so far will be reinvested back right again into new mic stands and stuff like that. Some lights maybe. Hope you like the setting. If you have any sort of tips for the setup, make sure to let us know if you'd like to see some more stuff.
Yeah, plus I think a cool thing here is that, yes, you know, we didn't make a lot of money, but that wasn't the main thing. But a podcast, and that is, again, combining those topics, social media is very much like business. There's always two options. You can say, oh, it didn't work, let's quit. Or you can think, okay, so maybe we didn't reach the goal, and the goal isn't monetary here, it's mainly amount of people we want to have every single week listening.
Yes, the goal is more the reach we have.
Exactly, yeah. So we could say, okay, we didn't reach your goal, so either you quit, or, okay, what can we change? What is wrong? What is the issue? And then we fix the issue to do the same. And that is, I think, whether you're working out, right? Are you reaching goals? No. Are you going to stop going to the gym? No, just fix something. Isn't your YouTube growing? Fix it. Isn't your business growing? Fix it. So I think that's one of the things we're doing. And we really sat down and thought about, okay, so what is the feedback that we've been having? What do we think ourselves?
Exactly. It's basically trying to find the issue, basically the problem for us, and we could really see the problems basically going towards you guys being like, we're not watching this podcast because, it's all over the place. Yep. I would not get into a flow of watching this podcast weekly, daily, listen to it on Spotify weekly, whatever, because you're not sure what kind of episode is coming. We did have some epic guests, and we do want to really thank those guests for giving us their time, and you guys and us the knowledge and value that they provided. So that was very epic, and we did love those podcasts.
And we will definitely continue to have super cool guests. And now that we're more focusing towards working out, whether it's more gym in this direction or more calisthenics in that direction.
Yeah, you got the rings and we got the workout setup right there, yes.
So I think that also makes it easier to find certain guests, because we've also spoken to more like business type guests, but they also said, well, I watched some of your podcasts, it is a lot about sports, or it's not really in my niche.
And the other one said, well,
exactly.
I mean, everyone from the workout niche that, or the workout fitness industry that I talked to was super excited and didn't even hesitate to.
But that's mainly because of your name and they know you within that niche.
Yeah. And that's also, from the business side, they might know you. So that could also help, obviously. But 100%. And we are focusing on some very epic guests that we might have on. And also, like we said, the setting and everything. So we have big plans.
One more major change, which we're not really going to review yet. We might change the name. Well, we will change the name.
We will change the name.
That's also why we started Welcome to the Podcast. Now, obviously, the podcast isn't going to be the new name.
It's going to be the podcast.
It's going to be the.
We're going to name it.
It's pretty
it's
epic.
It's a pretty
though.
epic name, the podcast.
Do you ever listen to the podcast? Which one? The podcast.
And the only thing that you could get is that you could get like a conversation with people saying like, "Hey, do you ever listen to the podcast?" And they're like, "I listen to a podcast. Which one? Yeah, the podcast. Which one? Yeah, the podcast." What's the name of the podcast?
You have in very random this in Leiden. You have a kroeg called the Kroeg.
I like it.
So it's bar called the Bar. So where are you going to the bar? Which one? Yeah, the bar. It's sort of, it works, right?
I kind of like it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
the podcast.
We have a name, which is going to be, it's going to be kind of obvious that we have in our mind. It's going to be podcast, or it's going to be
the podcast.
The podcast. Yeah. We just decided that if you like the podcast more than the other name, now it's hard to say no.
We might need a new logo though. Then Yeah, then you have to remove this then. For the podcast.
Okay, it's going to be the podcast.
It's going to be the podcast.
It's not going to be the podcast.
It's going to be the podcast.
It's not going to be the podcast. Yeah. All right, guys. This is basically a quick update. And no, we're not dead. No, the podcast is not dead. This might be viewed by like 10 people. This might be viewed.
10 million.
This video will go viral.
Yeah.
This podcast. This is the one that goes viral because
it's called the podcast.
Is the title of this video going to be, or the podcast going to be the podcast?
Podcast the podcast.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you valued this information a little bit, and I hope this sort of clears some stuff up, and I hope you're excited for the future as well. If you're still here, would mean a lot if you just watch the first episode and then decide to probably continue watching because it's epic. But yeah,
when are we back? When is the first real episode of the podcast?
We will be back as soon as we can. It is definitely going to be 2022.
Yes.
Because 2021, this is like the last day of 2021.
This one is probably online in 2022.
This is probably online in 2022. So simply put, we will be back in 2022. I think the goal is going to be to set everything up. We might be back at end of January, or it's going to be somewhere in February, or it's going to be 2023. We'll see you in the next one. Yeah? That was
Thank
it, right?
Thank you so much, yeah. See you in the podcast.
See you in the
podcast.
It works. It works.
It works.
Yeah.